Hello all, and welcome in. Is my mic even working? Hello? Hello all. Is my mic working? No? Yes? I don't know. My mic does not seem to be appearing. Oh, well, I'm coming through on the stream anyway. But anyway, hello all and welcome to WHF Round 11. It is the penultimate round of the season. You're joined by me, WHF Arrow, and Ollie, although I can't hear Ollie at the moment. And we're here for the penultimate round of the season. Welcome in everyone to the stream. Alfafa joins the stream. Welcome in, Alfafa. How are you doing today? Oh, as my mouse has fallen. That's a great start. But welcome in. I'm hoping you're all looking forward to this. We will have... I should probably turn on my other controller for this. Hopefully it has enough battery. Because on my current controller... Welcome in, Dubsy. Thank you for the subscription. On my current controller that I use for League Racing, the RB is completely broken now, so we are gonna have to use this controller. We have Friggy reserving in today for our championship leader in GB, who currently is in LA on a holiday, so will not be able to pick up any points this round. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo, his championship rival, could take the championship lead here this race. Dynamic Duo is behind by 8 points at this stage. And we're going to go on board here with Joshy, who's going to be the first to set a lap here. And Joshy is going to be one of the favourites here. And we're looking forward to see what we can see from Joshy. I don't know why my mic is not appearing in the overlay. But regardless, Josh, currently the driver to watch, one of our quicker drivers here in Tier 2. And hopefully Josh now will be the first driver to have a valid lap in. Just has one more corner to navigate. But Josh crosses the line. It's a 21.5, followed by Friggy, a 24.7. Addiction next with a 22.6. Scotland's on a lap, it is invalid. We've got RAF on a lap, although we do have Freddie on an out lap. We have the Mercedes of Job Z in the pits, so that's Spared Fungus on an out lap. RAF now. coming through the final sector. don't know what is happening where it's not allowing me to join Ollie's party. Hello? Alright. We find Ollie, and Ollie, have you ticked the box?
I have no idea, yes.
Alright, we finally got Ollie in. Thank the Lord, Ollie has joined us here.
Yeah, that's a good stupid.
And now we're on board with Spared Fungus here. I wonder who's next on that. There should be the McLaren of SDK Max. Will be next round, but goes invalid out of that. There are 16 drivers, Alfafa, yes. Meanwhile, we have Crypto in the Williams on a lap here. We do have the Ferrari of Freddy, who's going to be one of the drivers to beat here as well. Trying to pick up some constructor points for Ferrari, with GB missing today. And I need to get the constructors up a second. Currently, the constructor championship is led by AlphaTauri by fastest. 8 points. Yep, Freddy fastest with a 21.4.
Mercedes, who's that?
Maybe Spared Fungus.
Spared Fungus indeed.
But he is invalid. Meanwhile, we do have Crypto in the Williams. Crypto next across the line. Where can he go? Goes quickest with a 21.4.
300s ahead of Freddy, so that's pretty close. It always makes me so satisfied when a driver does a time exactly to the zero. 21.4 exact. So it's very satisfying in my opinion. I like it. That's just me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Max is coming around again. I believe he may be doing another
Ranga is retired.
Lap. Yeah, Ranga had a quali ban still yet to serve. Finally has served that.
Oh, he does.
Meanwhile, we have FDC in the chat says, good luck, y'all. Good luck today, y'all. Oh, and Joe with a big snap of the rear.
Wow. Just caught the end of that. Oof. Williams behind him, I guess that would be Turnip. Just it is. Beside his. Is Turnip first or second race? I haven't seen his name very often.
No, Turnip has been here season 1 as well. He's one of Pneumatic's brothers.
Oh, right.
So there's Naka Kraka and Turnip and Pneumatic are all brothers. Dynamic Duo goes quickest with a 21.0, followed across the line by Ethan with a 21.1. Meanwhile, Tantrum invalid, so no other drivers really setting laps at this stage.
Possibly Addiction, who's just started a lap now. It's the double right-handers. So his teammate Doblo is he pushing? No, he's not.
I've just realised my new camera angle, I can't even see if they're deploying ERS or not.
Oh.
I might have to change this slightly just for the stream. Where's camera? Is it graphic settings? No.
I mean, you could just have telemetry on it, it just tells you the gear and everything. Then you can tell.
Nah. Takes up too much of the screen. Am I blind?
Who is that? That's Duo, it is, just it's followed by Ethan. That's
I wonder, is it because I'm spectating it's not up?
Injection.
Anyway.
Not finished his lap. Sped Fungus, who is on outlap, Newtomatic, who's invalid. RAF, who's on outlap too. Oh, Joshy is not on, never mind. He is invalid. No one really is on outlap. And everyone that is
For
out
some
on
of the
track
cars,
is
it's
invalid.
some of the cars is okay. Like on board with Josh, I can see his ERS levels, but if I were to go on board with I was on board with the Alpine of Addiction, and I could see like the. Oh, Joshy's bended into the pit lane, I think.
Yeah, I was on board with him. I literally just looked at my phone, and then he crashed.
Oh no, it's not been a great outing already for the Aston Martins.
I've clipped it just in case it was. But I don't know. It looked like he just maybe spun, come around that corner, and he might have just put too much throttle down and spun it. Just see what he says in chat, maybe.
Well, at least Josh has set a lap.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Alpine, you can like I can't even see it because the airbox is blocking it. So the Alpine is not a car you really want to go on board with, whereas like the Alfa Romeo, the helmet is in the way. Let's see. The Mercedes, the helmet's in the way. The McLaren, the helmet's in the way, but it's slightly visible. And anyway, we're gonna follow Freddy on board here in the Ferrari. Seems like the ERS is only visible in the Aston.
Yeah, it depends.
It's kind of good. You can have no one peeking at other drivers' ERS levels throughout the stream, which I'm sure there's a couple of drivers do that. And I guess this way
You can't
there'll be
see
no
the Haas,
peeking.
Alfa Romeo, McLaren, or Mercedes. I mean, I've just realised we have not got a single Red Bull here tonight.
Yeah, Charisma's away on holiday, and Zampa's busy with work.
Oh,
And I feel for Charisma because he actually has got up to P4 in the championship now, and he is leading that very close pack inside the top 4.
Well,
But he could be jumped now.
For real.
Yeah, he could be jumped now by Spared Fungus and
Freddy
Joshy.
improves. Oh,
But Crypto improves
Ooh, very close.
even more. And it's now 300ths off pole.
Also, I have a question.
Yes.
Is Ethan allowed to run his line now?
Yeah, he's
He's on one now,
a
isn't he?
full-time driver. He's a full-time driver in Tier 2 now for the remaining 2 races of the season.
Yeah, the remaining
So-
only 2. Here comes
So-
Max. Oh, goes P6. Only 5,000 to Spared Fungus.
Yeah, we are close to the top.
Joshy is still
And I'm-
sitting P5. Still sitting comfortably there.
I am betting whoever gets into the 20s will be on pole.
I mean, there's not much. They don't have to
From-
find much time to get into the 20s. I can't remember what
Yeah,
tier
it
1
should
pole
be-
it was. And it was a mid-20, I'm pretty sure. From Cloud, I think.
No, I think it may have been like a 20.2.
Oh. All I know is that I qualified 4th, so or 3rd. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. Either way.
Yeah, I think I got a 21.0. I don't even remember if it was a high 21.0 or a low. Couldn't tell you if I'd be on pole right now or if I'd be P3 right now. But
How about you get in a car right now and let's find out?
oh, then I'll for sure put it on pole because I've improved since then.
Right, yes, nope. Anyway, the man who always seems to qualify last on purpose, Dub Z, is coming out on attack lap. So,
Yeah, Dubs. There's a couple drivers who just like don't like qualifying. Dub Z, Codzilla.
I
They
mean,
just love doing that. They love doing that like driver of the day.
no
run
offense to
where
Dub
they
Z or
just-
Godzilla, but when you're not fast enough to overtake that many people, then it's not really worth it.
Well, here's the thing though. Dubsy and Codzilla do make it work. They.
I mean, it's a good
multiple times
strategy,
you see that
because then you don't have the
they
chaos.
do. multiple times they've just cut their way through the field, and it's definitely working for Codzilla because he's around 10th or so in Tier 1, and Dubsy's currently 9th here in Tier 2, level on points with Cthulhu, who's not here today, so Dubsy will...
He's scoring points anyway since we have 16,
so... He's actually level on points with the Salmon as well, so
yeah, we haven't seen the
if
Salmon
Dubsy
in a
scores
while.
it... If Dubsy scores it all here, he really will take P9 firmly in the championship.
Oh, well, good for him. As he's on a purple sector 1, go on.
Although, unfortunately, that is probably a game glitch because a lot of times the game just lies about...
No.
I mean, if Dubsy's on pole, you know, I will take my shirt off, but...
Alright,
I'm
you know what to do,
Dubsy
come on, buddy,
pole.
you got this.
I'm rooting for a Dubsy pole as well here,
Yeah,
but...
you guys, I mean, from what I've watched, he's done a really good lap so far. And if he comes to the pits, I'm going to actually be mad, because I really want to see what this lap will do. Finishes this off.
Yeah, I'd love to see Dubsy pole.
Please don't pit, please don't pit, please don't pit. Yes, he's finishing
Well,
a
he's
lap!
going to finish the lap.
Doing it!
And round the final corner he goes. It does look a smooth lap. Come on, Dub. You can do it. You can do it, Dub.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Ah, it's a
Oh, it's
22-1.
not too
Good
bad.
lap.
Same exact lap time
P10.
as Aria. Same.
Yeah, just behind due to being the second driver to set the lap.
You can now retire in peace.
No pneumatic involved. So all the drivers now on their outlaps here in the final, is it 3 or so minutes? I can't even tell. There's a yellow flag out, so can't even see how many
My
minutes there
girlfriend
is
has
remaining.
asked, who should she root for?
Who should you root for?
GB is not here.
I don't know. Well, Dubsy, we're all in the Dubsy camp. But if you want someone who's going to win, then you may have a better bet with someone inside the top 5. I'm
I'd
trying to
say
think, has Crypto was fighting in the podium positions last time out in Silverstone, but finished P8, so Crypto up at P2 could find himself potentially up there fighting for the win, or even at least his first podium with WHF. But we do have a lot of drivers doing their outlaps. We're going to go on board with Freddie, who's going to be the first driver here to start a lap. Although we do have a couple of drivers.
Ethan Pole. I think Ethan's going to do it. He's usually absolutely mighty in qualifying since he qualified P3 last week at Tier 1. I mean, that's pretty impressive to see a Tier 2 driver, but you know, yeah, I'm rooting for Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan very well could do it. Currently has a 21-1. Freddie with a 21-3 at this stage. Can the Ferrari driver improve? Pneumatic. Pneumatic is in the chat. Says purple sector 1, 2, and then green 3, and don't improve. Well, that is the game lying to you, Pneumatic, because it's done it.
Retired. He's retired.
It's done that for us. Crypto's retired. He's gone off.
Oh,
and that is a weird place to go off.
He's
just straight lined it. Maybe he was invalid and gave up. I don't know, but and Freddie is now invalid.
Oh, Freddie.
So it'll be the Alfa Romeo of Ethan. We're going to go on board with next.
Of the dynamic duo.
And this lap looks to be on rails from Ethan here. Can Ethan put it on pole? Currently P3, a 10th down from Dynamic Duo here. And Ethan round the final corner keeps it valid. Where will he put that Alfa Romeo as he crosses the line now? It'll be a 21.054, so a thousandth ahead of Crypto, but it will not be pole. We've Dynamic Duo now rounding the final corner. We'll have a lovely tow from the McLaren of SDK Max, I believe. Crosses the line now, goes quickest with a 20.9 and currently P2 in the championship. Can Dynamic Duo take the championship lead here? with his championship rival not here.
What a lap from Dynamic Duo. Like you said, it's like you said, the first man in the 20s will be on pole, and well, he is. First man in the 20s, and well, he is on pole. So
yeah, and this is an opportunity for Dynamic Duo if he can get. He already has the pole points, which will put him.
What's the lead at the moment? How far is he
Two
ahead?
steps closer. GB is 8 points ahead.
Ooh,
So Dynamic Duo now
got a very good chance.
closes the gap to 6 points.
And if he wins, then that'll be
A big championship
19
swing, that's
point
for
lead,
sure.
I'm pretty sure. Considering how consistent Duo is, that would be a very hard, very hard thing to. Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't even English.
I would just give up with a sentence.
Yep.
But Dynamic Duo leads
Oh,
from
it's
Ethan
so close.
in P2
1,000
by
from
a
third,
tenth.
second to third, and then you've got from third to fourth. Oh, never mind, it's gone. Very close from everyone though, so that's very good to see. Hopefully, have a good race.
Yeah, and Dynamic Duo now also has extended the constructors' battle to now. It's a 10-point lead for AlphaTauri over Ferrari. So Dynamic Duo here, if it could get a win today, it'd also help AlphaTauri win the constructors potentially. Although Freddie is here, starting from P4, who can force it to the next round, which will be in Las Vegas for the finale next week. So stay tuned for that. Ollie, have you told them when to ready up? Because I do that
Not
now.
yet. I will actually do that quickly now.
Yeah, 20 it should be good. But I'm not sure if I mentioned last week, but last week, chat, we finally got up to 800 Twitch followers. So thank you everyone in the chat who has followed. We're now 800 followers. We're 200 away from 1,000, which hopefully next game I would say we could reach, which is a good goal to aim for.
Oh, that is
And
very good goal to aim for indeed.
have I even set a goal? Let's just set a goal here. Manage goals.
The goal is having 802 followers.
Well, we're on 806 currently, so we've smashed that one out of the park.
Whoops.
And is that one? Why is that just doesn't make any sense? That's not the follow goal. Okay. I typed in 850 and then it says your follower goal is now 846. Just a very vague follow goal. Anyway, we're here for Qatar. Qatar is, I'm trying to remember how many laps Qatar is. Like 29, my guess is.
Oh, I think it's more. I think it's in the 30s. Pretty sure. I think it's like 31 or 32. I'm pretty sure. Quite a short track.
My guess is 20. My guess is 29. Oh well, it's a 1 minute 20 lap. So it's longer than like Austria is 1 minute 4 or 3, and then it has 36 laps. So Qatar having 29 doesn't sound too far fetched to me. I think it's either 28 or 29 in my mind. But anyway, for all the drivers in the chat, if you're listening, make sure to fuel up very heavy for this track. This is probably the worst track on fuel on this game because you're at full throttle for the majority of the lap. So A safety car, I'm sure, will help the drivers a lot manage their fuel. And if there is a safety car, I would say all the drivers should make it to the end on fuel. But if there's no safety car, I feel like it's going to catch out 1 or 2 drivers, despite the fact that we have told them all. But the drivers now should be readying up. It is now 9:28. So if anyone wants to be the volunteer.
Alright, we should be going any minute now then.
And let's see how many laps it is as we finally load in. As you can hear the tone chiming down, and it will be 29 laps. I was correct, as we have the 5 lights on for the penultimate round of the Tier 2 WHF season. And the lights are out, and away we go. Dynamic Duo is going to lead us away in P1 here. Ethan up his inside though. In the Alfa Romeo, can Ethan dive it into turn 1? He does, and there's a sand from the Williams in behind. The Williams has a bit of contact with the Alfa Tauri as there's a couple of cars going off. That seems to be the Haas of pneumatic involved.
There we go. Mastica's got a lot of gravel on his tyre, so he must have gone off there. Don't know who the... Ranga's missing the front wing. So something must have happened back there.
Not a good start for Ranga, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, that's Josh. The other Aston's going round now, and it's been a horrific start for the Astons this race. Unfortunately, Josh retired in quali, and then Ranga had the quali ban, and now both Astons
right behind Brady. It's interesting tyre choice. Top 3 on mediums. Then you've got 4th, 5th, and 6th on hard, and then Dober on mediums.
Meanwhile, Dobo's gone off. He's Dobo off in the gravel.
Yeah.
We don't know what's happened there, but a couple of drivers off here very early on, and surprisingly so.
He's behind us.
But
he didn't qualify last, did he? He actually was a mid-pack there.
He actually did qualify like P10, I believe. But now we have RAF on the rear now of SDK Max. Side by side they go. The McLaren keep it in. The McLaren does keep it ahead of RAF at this stage. But RAF having one of his best races so far, been up this high in P6. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo.
Ranger in the pits. Getting a nose change. Getting a nose job. He's going to put on a set of hards, which will... Wait, is that a set of hards? Or is that no, he's put a set of mediums on. So, going for a 2-stop race.
Meanwhile, Ethan leads us away as Dynamic Duo. P2 in the championship. And if it were to finish the way it is now, he would take the championship lead off GB, who unfortunately not able to be with us tonight.
Honestly,
but
skill issue.
But there still is time for GB to come back, as next week we head to Vegas for the finale. Meanwhile, Josh gets ahead of Scotland. Josh recovering from that spin.
We've got a
up into P13.
We've got a star fight for the lead at the moment.
Josh has got past Friggy. Friggy had a backer to that move. Josh, though, already picked up a time penalty as Tantrum into the box. May have damage here as well. Dynamic Duo sets the fastest lap.
That's going to be speeding. Oh, just slows it down in time. Oh.
Gets a time penalty, and Dynamic Duo now on the rear of Ethan, battling here for the lead of the race, as the DRS will be enabled next lap, really, as we're now on lap 3, but there's only one DRS zone here in Qatar, and we've got such a close fight for the lead. Look how close the deltas are. Every driver's within half a second of the car ahead. And Tantrum in the chat says that he forgot to change his wing, which unfortunately is just it's just a thing that happens in this game. You have to tell your pit crew to change the wing, otherwise they don't do it.
He's on a U,
which is it's so stupid how the game just doesn't tell you. Although with me in Spa it was different, because I was already in the pit lane immediately without consenting.
He's going around. It doesn't look like he's even got any damage. wing looked fine to me. I don't.
Yeah,
Must be
he
very
may
minor
have
damage.
he may have yellow wing damage. But you do feel it on tracks where you do need high downforce like Qatar.
Right, back up to the front.
Meanwhile,
Pretty sure Dynamo
yeah,
Duo is going to get a
dynamic
move
duo.
on here.
DRS enabled now on Ethan.
Will Crypto possibly go for this if he can get a good run? Looks like he's too far behind.
Yeah, Dynamic Duo now going to take the lead of the race, and this is precisely not what GB wanted to hear. Dynamic Duo currently in the lead,
Yeah,
and
he is what he. GB is simply put it, Ethan's biggest fan, because he needs him to win this.
to at least minimise the damage as much as possible here, because if Dynamic Duo finishes P2, then it just gives GB that little bit less that he needs to do next time out in Vegas. Whereas if Dynamic Duo were to win, it would mean GB would have a mountain to climb. Not only does GB would have to win next time in Vegas, but he'd have to hope that Dynamic Duo would have an absolute rotter, and for things to not to go his way as well.
I mean, Las Vegas is, it's still a street track, so anything can happen. It's seen many instances in the past, especially last season. We don't want to talk about that.
Last season in Tier 2, it was one of the most chaotic races we've ever experienced in all our league racing. Meanwhile, hopefully we get better things, as Crypto was a big snap of the rear, trying to catch Ethan now, as Ethan was around 7/10 back from Dynamic Duo, but the DRS has helped him close that gap yet again here. Meanwhile, we do have Spared Fungus in ahead of Addiction. Spared Fungus now up into P8. We've got
Josh fastest lap, but down in E10, currently behind Addiction and Spared Fungus. So if he can get a move on, then he's going to try around the outside there, surely.
Yeah, would have been a very risky place to go for the move, and now all over the rear of Addiction. Addiction trying to defend this, and Josh now trying to find a way through on the Alpine. But just can't seem to find a way through. Meanwhile, RAF has got a time penalty, and Max as well has dropped back from the pack, so Max may have had a bit of a loss of the rear potentially, which RAF had to avoid, which inevitably led to RAF and Max now falling out of the battle for the lead here. And I'm sure that penalty that RAF he has picked up is not going to help him.
He's got another one. 6 seconds now.
6 seconds already this early on the race. That's really not going to help.
A bit frustrated under that helmet. He spun early
after
on,
retiring
to pit lane, so
retiring in quali and spinning.
He's not even get past Addiction here. Addiction's just got so much straight line speed. Oh, he's going to try on the outside. No, he's not. Our Duo kept it ahead of the DRS zone. So.
And Addiction has a bit of a snap. Josh now having a look around the outside if he can. Addiction going defensive here. Good driving from the Alpine. He goes wide, goes deep into the corner. Lovely switch back from Josh. And Addiction not able to defend from the Aston any longer.
Very nice.
But the Aston does have time penalties, which is going to play a factor in this race. Meanwhile, he has the rear of Spared Fungus ahead of him. Spared Fungus, who hasn't really had the rub of the green this season, after he almost won in round 1 in Bahrain, coming together with a former Aston Martin driver. And Spared Fungus since then hasn't really had a sniff of a win since. And Josh now looking for a way through on Spared Fungus if he can get it. And Josh, whoa, that was mega desync for a second there. I'd say Josh was like 20 meters off the track, and then
overtaking Duo. Still one, there he goes. The inside. Simple move.
Yeah. Re-inherits the lead from lap 1, where he took the lead into turn 1 ahead of the AlphaTauri driver, but very close battling here in the battle for the lead. Still the top 4 in this battle, and I think the driver to look out for in this battle is Freddy, because you'd have had to look out for RAF and Max now, but they've now dropped off following whatever incident they had earlier.
STK Max has got to look behind him because he's got a wild Dubsy now within his DRS, so...
Dubsy in the Mercedes could be a real threat here in this race, but Freddy in the Ferrari doing the hard medium, we would assume, could be in the best position here for the win, because he's in this lead pack and he's hanging on to the medium runners as well here.
Freddy, who didn't he win last time out, or was that Duo that won out in Silverstone?
I believe it was Duo. Let me get up last week's race. As Dynamic Duo now with the DRS gets back through again into the lead, and a lot of this as Ranga picks up a time penalty, trying to battle with Tantrum.
Well, they're going to
and
try and
Ranga
go
does
side by
get
side.
through
Tantrum backs
around
out.
the outside of Tantrum, and good move there from Ranga. And last time out, it was Dynamic Duo getting pole and winning.
Oh, Freddy! Oh no, he's broken his wing. Oh.
Well, I missed what happened there. Did Freddy go into the rear of
Freddy hit the
Crypto?
back of Crypto going into the hairpin. That was. It didn't look like a brake check. It looked like he just misjudged it, unfortunately. So that is Freddy. Oh, out of it now, unfortunately, because he's going to fall back a lot of positions. He's going to have to pit now. Go into mediums
he's
earlier than
also-
he wants. So
He's probably going to have to two-stop it from here, which is not the way to go.
He needs a safety
Mediums
car.
are probably... Yeah, the mediums are not going to make it to the end from
he's
here.
good enough as well. So
And this is also added another element where it's making Crypto fall out of the battle for the win here. So it could really put the battle for the win really down to Ethan and Dynamic Duo if Crypto cannot catch up here. Because Crypto will not have DRS, although Ethan does. But Crypto needs to do all he can to get back within the DRS of this battle for the lead here. Otherwise, it'll really be between Ethan and Dynamic Duo, which GB will not be happy about, because that will still be a big points haul to try and overcome.
Friggy gets a 3-second time penalty. Got a few penalties already. I mean, this is one of those tracks where it's like penalties are pretty much inevitable. There's so many places you can go off. To be honest,
Yeah, it is.
it's very, very hard
It is
not
difficult. Yeah, difficult to avoid the penalties.
to. Turnip also gets a penalty. That's now 9 seconds for Tantrum and Friggy, which are down 15s and 16s respectively. So they're still going. They still will score points, so to speak. So yeah, so worth continuing, even though you're last by a while. But you know, we have fun.
We do have fun, and Crypto is back within the DRS, so Crypto...
Yeah, Crypto's right behind him now. He was like about 1.1 behind following that Freddy incident, but he's really pushed and got up to this battle. So GB will be wanting him, I guess, to overtake Duo and hopefully, I mean, touch wood, not cause an incident. Wouldn't want to see an incident.
And Max now in the McLaren through on RAF, and RAF now has 6 seconds of penalties, so I'm sure RAF unfortunately may struggle to get a podium here following the whatever incident was between the McLaren and himself, as well as the time penalties. It may be too difficult to overcome. But the current battle we do have for the podium is Ethan, Dynamic Duo and Crypto, and currently these three have escaped the drivers behind, and it really does come down to these three when they want to box. Is the undercut or overcut going to be more powerful here? We will see. But Crypto dropping back again. And Crypto picks up a time penalty.
Oh,
Going very off.
that's not gonna
Struggling
help.
through that high-speed section. And he's
He's
now
dropped back.
1.8 behind. Yeah. He's going very slowly. Did he lag out?
I didn't see him leave. We got a yellow.
Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo gets through. There's a yellow out for
Nope.
Dobo.
Crypto's still here. I don't know what the hell happened there, because we're to fall 3.2 behind after getting a pen. Unless he must have just had me, might have a snap out the final corner or something, or I don't know.
Or his
Weird.
dog started biting his ankle and he just was trying to
Or his
shake off the
goldfish
dog. I
just
don't know.
started drowning. I don't know.
Yes, something happened there that he's going to have to explain. Meanwhile, Freddie on the outside now of Scotland gets into P12 Scotland. Having to concede that position.
So, a battle
But
down some
now-
options for 6th place between Josh and Dub Z. Josh on those 10 lap on mediums, and as RAF picks up a penalty. Not going to help with
Yeah,
this fight
that's
with Max. Oh, it's Josh. Oh,
9
he's already
seconds.
passed. Josh has already passed Dub Z, so that battle was over before it even began.
Yeah, an unconventional place to get the position, but can Dubsy hold on to the DRS of Josh here for the next couple of laps, because the pit stops are going to be coming soon. But we did hype up the battle for the lead, and now the battle for the lead has come down to two drivers here. It's between Ethan and Dynamic Duo. So really, regardless of what happens, as long as these two finish where they are, Dynamic Duo will have a big points haul to catch 2GB in the championship and will take the championship lead. Meanwhile, Freddie picks up a time penalty here, trying to follow Dobo and Pneumatic, as Pneumatic now dives into the pit lane. He's going to be the first driver to pit onto the hards here to try and go to the end. Meanwhile, Freddie with the DRS trying to get a good run on Dobo, but Dobo also a DRS there from Pneumatic as well. Freddie picks up the fastest lap as he is going to dive it now on Dobo. Side by side they go, the Ferrari and the Alpine, and Freddie just has superior grip on the inside and gets through into P10. Freddie looking to recover on these fresher mediums at this stage.
Pneumatic has come into the box and put a set of hards on. I guess he's going to try and stick them now to the end. Got 17 laps.
Pneumatic.
So
Yeah, he's the first driver to come in for their final pit stop, so to speak. And it'll be interesting to see when Ethan and Dynamic Duo decide to make their final pit stops as well here.
Oh, Ethan
and
goes.
Ethan's going to come in very early, in my opinion,
He's going to try the
for
overcut.
his pit
since
stop.
I know it's very powerful around a track like this where the tyres do wear very quickly. So
Yeah, Dynamic Duo could honestly stay out a lap or two more and maybe even benefit from the
will
overcut.
Ethan come out in
with
traffic. There's
much fresher
a
hards.
lot of kind of big gaps, so I think he might be alright. So
Although he may come out behind the Mercedes of Spared Fungus and Addiction in the
what he
Alpine.
needs. Oh, and he's going to be behind. So
He does come out
here comes Freddie.
in a gap behind them though. Yeah,
Freddie in 10th, but yeah, he's going to be sort of, more behind.
ahead of Freddie. He does come out in a good gap though. Dynamic Duo will see, does he come into the box or does he stay out a couple more laps? We will see. But Ethan now trying to drop the hammer. And you never know, maybe even on the fresher hards, Dynamic Duo could still fall out of the DRS from Ethan and not be able to regain it if Ethan just has superior pace on the older tyres. We're yet to see really what Dynamic Duo is like in the clear air here at Qatar, but Ethan is going to run into traffic very shortly because he can see the hard runner of Addiction in the Alpine, who's behind the medium runner of Spared Fungus.
But
But
responded instantly. So that's Crypto.
yeah,
Max is
Dynamic
supposed to stay
Duo.
out on his hard, so but Josh is also going to stay out. As is Dubsy on his
keep an eye
hard.
on this battle as Ethan now will have the DRS off the Alpine of Addiction.
It's going to be quite close, I think. Ethan is now coming across the line.
Oh! For some reason he like ghosted there for me. Ethan now out ahead of Dynamic Duo here, and he dives it on Spared Fungus as well. So that was very key for Ethan to clear this traffic. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo now 2.5 down the road. Probably a bigger gap than we were expecting, to be honest.
3 seconds plus behind Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan pulled a major gap there.
Surprising. I thought.
Yeah,
I didn't realize if the overcut would be that powerful. Especially with Ethan running into traffic at the end.
yeah, Ethan with a very, very powerful undercut now, and Dynamic Duo. Once he gets the DRS from Addiction and Spared Fungus, he's going to need to immediately dump the battery to get through on them, because he cannot waste any time in behind these drivers on the older tyres. Dynamic Duo has to get through the traffic to head down after Ethan. He will be on the fresher hards though, which will help him. But the traffic of the midfield drivers here is not going to help. Dynamic Duo on the inside of Addiction, and
Fungus comes
Dynamic
into the
Duo
pits.
does get through on Addiction. A really unique place to make the move. I don't know if Dynamic Duo though is going to have the DRS. He's not.
Addiction's going to have it.
So Ethan did have that extra bit of help from the DRS. He's also going to have the help from his teammates' DRS as well. And now Ethan is 4+ seconds up the road. But can he make these tyres last is the question. Does Dynamic Duo have the pace in the clear air to catch Ethan?
I mean,
we will see. I wonder, was Ethan banking on just having the pace in the clear air over Dynamic Duo? We'll have to see. But this gap is a lot bigger than we thought it was going to be when he exited the pit lane.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember when Tier 1 did this race, like how my tyres were wearing and the overcut and the time, but like, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of confused, to be honest. Ethan just had that quick of an hour. I mean, unless you had made a mistake on his lap. Yeah. But either way, it's just pretty good for Ethan. Either way.
Oh, and Freddy has a bit of contact with Addiction. As Addiction's coming in. I don't believe so, but now Freddy under pressure from the Williams of Crypto, who has come from very far back, and Dynamic Duo now picks up the fastest lap, and if he keeps that until the end of the race, I'm sure GB will not be happy. Meanwhile, Crypto dives it round the outside of Freddy. A lot more grip on those fresher hards.
10 to, how many pens is that now? That is 12 seconds for Tantrum and Friggy. So, both two at the back are very much struggling. There's a man where we have mentioned a lot this race, so I feel bad for, and that's Dobo. He really is not having a fun time down his 13th.
Yeah, Dobo P3 in the championship, but the second half of the season has just not gone his way.
I mean, thankfully he's only got next week and then it's all over, so he can refresh and try again next season, which will be on the new game. So I mean, we don't know. Maybe our next game could be Cookie Paste. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Some people could get a wheel and then they just randomly turn up.
Some people could get PC and also randomly just be ridiculously fast. Oh wait.
I wonder who that could be. Meanwhile, Max comes in onto the mediums. I wonder, does Dub Z get out ahead of
It
Max?
might be a
now?
stretch.
We'll
He's up.
yeah, a
he's
bit
not
too
gonna
far
get it.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere near.
Meanwhile,
Max
I'm
exits
watching the gap
P5.
between Ethan and Dynamic Duo, and the gap has already come down these 6/10 in about 2 laps. So Duo is catching him at quite a quick rate. So I think Duo is doing pretty good at the moment. So
Yeah, he's doing
need
what
Ethan.
needs to be
Hold
done.
on. Yeah.
And Dynamic Duo also has the fastest lap, so if he gets the win here, it could be too unassailable for GB to catch in the final round in Vegas next time out. But Dynamic Duo still has 2.4 to close in 12 laps. Can he do it? Get the predictions in the chat. Do you think Dynamic Duo will win here? Meanwhile, Spared Fungus has got ahead of Addiction here in the Alpine, as Addiction's on 1 lap fresher mediums in comparison to Spared Fungus's 2 lap old hards. So this could be a battle that lasts to the end of the race. Meanwhile, Dobo round the outside of Pneumatic. Lovely move there. And hopefully Dobo can start to recover here. And there still is a lot of time left for a lot to happen in this race, as Pneumatic picks up a time penalty.
Yep, now
And
2
Scotland
seconds
comes in.
for the front two, so he's caught in by another half a second. So as RAF gets fast lap, so done those mediums. Down in
GB is
P8.
Yeah, GB's hoping it stays that way, that at least Dynamic Duo doesn't have the fastest lap, but he's now caught half a second in a lap. So
Yeah, he's still catching now, down to 1.8. So
by that math, by lap 20, he could be firmly in the DRS of Ethan. And it seems the lap older hards are struggling to keep the AlphaTauri at bay, as the gap now is down to 1.5.
oh, he is gaining very quickly.
Yeah, that's another half a second, and Dynamic Duo now may have the DRS next lap. Crypto in off 4 lap old hards, and
Oh,
he's
he's
retired.
retired! What on earth? It was going so well, man. Why?
He was in the podium positions.
As Josh gets a penalty? No, that's fast lap.
Sets the fastest lap.
Well, we'll try and see what happens to Crypto there.
He just retired in the pits. Meanwhile, though, we still have Addiction and Spared Fungus battling here.
Oh, it's
Over
Crypto's car is now
P8.
coming back out on track and not ghosting. Hopefully no one hits it.
Yeah,
That'd be a
hopefully it should be
disaster.
okay. Meanwhile, Dynamic Duo now is in the DRS firmly of Ethan here with 10 laps to go in this race. Can Dynamic Duo here get the lead? And this is precisely not what GB wants to be hearing here. I'll just do some quick calculation. If Dynamic Duo were to win here,
You gonna go for it?
as he may
Yes, he
have
is.
a look on the inside, and he does. He goes for a late send on Ethan. Can Ethan defend?
He
And
cannot.
Dynamic Duo into the lead. And how many points would Dynamic Duo be ahead? Let's see here.
Oh.
If he does end up winning here.
Be 19, I believe. There's 25 to win, and he's already gained
yep.
down at 6, so
It is
19
19.
to win. And even if he doesn't,
19 points.
that'll be 16 if he comes second. But still, it's, I mean, a very hard task for GP, considering how quick and consistent Duo is. But you can't rule anything out. So, I mean, for all we know, Duo could DNF for the next 9 laps.
He also could DNF in Vegas, which could lead to GB winning. So you really never know in racing what could happen. You just have to be there to win, and you gotta hope the other drivers around you make mistakes.
Oh, never mind. Josh was passing Turnip. I got confused because since I was a lapped Williams. Oh, it was Freddie. He's into the pits. Oh yeah, he's got to do a two-step, hasn't he? He broke his
Yep.
wing. Uh,
As Ethan dives on the inside of Dynamic Duo.
but this is going to help GB because this is actually going to give. If he goes onto the softs, the mediums, could get fastest lap, which obviously Freddie is GB's teammate, so this could help him out.
Yeah, just make sure that Dynamic Duo does not get that extra 2 points, which I'm sure GB does want to hear. But if Dynamic Duo does end up winning here, the gap will be very tough to overcome for GB, who is largely our championship leader throughout the championship. But Ethan here could still spoil the party for Dynamic Duo.
Well, there's one person we still talk about. I've got a shout on the podium now, that's Josh. You know how quick he is, he's only 4.1 behind Max, so he's got 8 laps to catch up, so obviously Josh is on lap 1, I'm pretty sure. We're down to last.
He does have those penalties though, and also Max is on the reverse strategy, so it could be Max's first podium this season, I believe.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Meanwhile, Ethan gets back into the lead. Yeah, Max's best result was last time out in Silverstone with a P5, so Max could have his first podium of the season.
He's currently fighting with Freddie, who just has come out the pit lane on those fresh mediums. Guess he's going to probably be going fast lap 2. That would be if I'm on the mediums. Oh, who's that? Oh, Pneumatic's out.
Pneumatic's retired.
Safety car.
It's a safety car.
Ooh,
it's a safety car. And if every driver has a brain here, or if you're listening, either or, pit for sauce. This is absolutely sauce to the end, and especially for the leaders, this is sauce to the end.
Oh, yeah.
Staying out would not be the way to go for sure. This is a high deg circuit, and you will feel the grip on the sauce in comparison to these older hards. So this is absolutely sauce to the end here for everyone. And you know what I'm loving is that Dub Z will be P5 on fresh softs and no penalties.
Oof. I mean, he's only going to clear Josh at the moment, so.
If there's still drama that could happen, Dub Z could find himself
podium. Let's go.
If Dub Z gets a podium,
you got to sell your PZ.
No, I just bought it. No. Right, Dub, please come in.
He doesn't care, I swear to God.
Now would start crying on stream.
Okay.
Thank the
Let's see
Lord.
if anyone stays
Everyone
out.
RAF is
what are you doing,
stay
buddy?
out.
Oh no, oh God.
And that is not the right move, in my opinion.
Be
Max is actually gonna go on the mediums.
Oh no, maybe he's in the softs.
So, well, he's still being on fresh tyres. But RAF now into P3, although he will not have.
I think RAF is going to get absolutely swamped by all these stuff runners.
Very quickly, Freddie stays out because Freddie already had pit onto 2-lap mediums. He hadn't pit that long ago,
okay.
so
Freddie won't have to worry about tyre wear.
And Ranga in P11. So Ranga, who is one of the quick drivers here in Tier 2, hopefully can finally recover after having wing damage from the start.
Soon to be commentator for Tier 1.
Yep. For those of you who are unaware, it'll be the penultimate round for Tier 2 or Tier 1 tomorrow in Kota, aka Texas, and Ranga and Ethan will be your commentary team for tomorrow due to GB and Andy not being available. GB in LA and Andy busy with, I'm not sure what he was busy with, but he's busy with something. Yeah, and then busy man is Andy, and it's great to have him for when we do. But Ranga now that he'll be caught up to the pack following this safety car, hopefully there's some special things. Max has dropped 2 positions. And Scotland's picked up a time penalty. I don't know why Max has dropped 2 positions. I mean, he'll get 3 positions due to the penalties regardless. And now he's dropped behind Dub Z.
Oh, he's
It's his connection. It's his connection.
Oh, he's overtaken Dub Z, you know. Ooh.
I mean, he should be P4. RAF now is coming in. RAF is going to pit for sauce. He should have come in a lap earlier.
So he'll be down to P12 since Scotland will pass him. Pretty sure as well.
Yeah.
So
he'll definitely be passed at least by Ranga. And
I mean,
maybe Scotland as well.
Not pitted due to Ethan pitting. He might have just didn't want to get held up. But I mean, even though it still was.
Yeah, he lost way more time.
Yeah.
He would have lost maybe like 1.2 seconds maybe if he got double stacked, and now he's probably
Scotland
lost.
Goes past. No, RAF is down to 12.
He's lost at least 5 positions. Pneumatic in the chat says had to hit the curb, didn't I? Spun at the penultimate corner, and that is what brought out the safety car. As we've had Scotland and Tantrum pick up time penalties under the safety car here. But one thing I will say, this has absolutely benefited Ethan, this safety car, because it's now leveled the playing field between him and Dynamic Duo on tyre life. So I'm sure Ethan will be happy about that. Also, there is the lapped car of Friggy, who will automatically build a little bit of a gap between Dynamic Duo and Joshy. So we'll see, can Joshy close that gap under the safety car restart, which the safety car should be going in this lap. I would say the Williams of Tantrum is almost caught up. He should be caught up
soon
by the time. And Zampa in the chat says, damn, go get him, Dub. And we're all in the same boat. We want to see a Dub podium.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Dub. We're rooting for Dub here. And Nuto also says penalties will absolutely ruin the current order, and you're absolutely right. I feel for Max though, as Spirit Fungus has now lost out to Addiction, but Addiction has given that place back. I do feel for Max though. Max was supposed to be P3, lost 2 positions because of desync. So hopefully he can at least recover to a podium. Meanwhile, Addiction picks up a time penalty, 5-second time penalty after having contact with Spared Fungus, and he's coming in. His front wing's completely off there, as Ethan has now got us underway. As Zampa's dropped 100 bits. Thank you for the 100 bits, Zampa. Meanwhile, we've got our safety car restart.
Max on Freddy.
And Max on the inside of Freddy, gonna dive it on the inside of the Ferrari. As Freddy has to concede that place as Friggy, the lap car, also involved. Meanwhile, can Joshy close up to the DRS of the drivers ahead?
Oh, Ethan
picks up a time penalty.
Oh,
Ethan picks up a time penalty. 5 laps to go in this race, and that could be all she wrote. Dubsy qualified P10, Zampa. So Dubsy up to P6 now, and could find himself into the podium places, but needs to close the gap. But Duo now.
Warnings. So Duo could still pick up one.
He just needs to keep it clean to the end of the race here and avoid penalties, and the win will be his. And not only that here, Dynamic Duo could have the fastest lap as well due to being on the fresh sauce now. And Ethan goes off again.
Freddy's on right behind him, so Freddy's.
And Josh has joined this battle now as well.
Freddy, Josh, yeah, God's sake.
Josh could be looking to get ahead in this battle as well. Dynamic Duo going to take the lead. Josh picks up the fastest lap here. Ethan now on the inside. Josh around the outside. Josh may get it done here. Dynamic Duo doesn't need to fight this.
What a move.
Because he will. Josh does get through. Lovely move. But Dynamic Duo doesn't need to fight this because he will get due to the time penalties. He just needs to hold on to the rear of the Aston and also make sure that Josh holds on to Ethan. And Josh now with 9 seconds of penalties there.
Yeah,
Josh could be out of the fight for the podium completely. Dub Z now, as Max picked up a time penalty. So Dub Z, let's have a look at the penalties really quick.
P3?
Dub Z could be P3. If Dub Z gets a podium, chat, we ride it down. I don't know what we do. We're going to be buzzing anyway, regardless. I don't even know what to say. We're going to be really happy.
The Craig pole position earlier this season or last season? Craig pole in tier 2
Craig
in his first race.
He got pole in Portugal. And he also did get a
Dubsy podium. There we go.
Craig also did get a podium in tier 1 in Canada. Gotta remember that. That was a big moment.
Josh into the final corner. Josh runs out wide.
Bit of contact between Dynamic Duo and Josh trying to keep it ahead of the AlphaTauri of Dynamic Duo, but Dynamic Duo can see the rear light flashing on that Aston Martin. May look to send it in, and he does send it on the inside of the Aston Martin. 3 laps to go in this race, side by side. The Aston Martin and the AlphaTauri go again. Dynamic Duo doesn't need to battle this hard. The win will be his, but he is a competitive driver at heart. He wants to win this on track. He doesn't want to win this via penalties because he knows penalties could get removed if they were given by the game unjustly. But personally, I don't believe they'll be removed because I believe they're just track limit penalties that weren't really caused by any game glitches or another driver. Dubsy though picks up a time belly. No! Oh, it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. He still may have his best result of the season here. Unfortunately, it may not be P3. But hopefully Dub can get a good result here. Dynamic Duo almost loses the rear out of the penultimate corner. And almost went off track as well. Could have picked up a warning there, but avoided it just about. And on to the penultimate lap we go. Josh gonna look for the move. Dynamic Duo also gonna have DRS. Look on the outside. It's 3 wide into turn 1 on the penultimate lap. Dynamic Duo right the outside of Josh. Josh here on the outside.
A bit of contact.
But they both make it through. Dynamic Duo now through into P2. On the penultimate lap, Josh now on the rear of the AlphaTauri. And yet again, they don't need to be battling this hard. Josh gonna send it in! Josh sends it on the inside of Dynamic Duo. Lovely move from the Aston. And I don't know why Dynamic Duo is battling this hard. The win is his. He just needs to keep it clean. And he's just adding more risk. He's adding so much more risk to this. What a fight. What a fight this has been as we're heading through the final sector here on the penultimate lap. Oh no, he's another time penalty. That is surely the win gone now. I mean, Dynamic Duo will have the win surely regardless. He needs to not crash and he'll have the win, but I'm sure he still wants it on track. He's dumping the battery. He wants more. And he's going to get through into P2. Meanwhile, Ranga going to get through into P7. There's still a lot could happen. Joshy picks up another time penalty. Dubsy now battling for P5 with Freddie. Could Dub get a podium still? Ethan and Josh have bigger penalties than Dubsy at this stage. And as Ludomatic in the chat says, it is amazing racing. Absolutely.
Oops. I don't even know what the podium order is going to be. I think Ethan will be dropped down to quite a few places.
I'm not quite sure. I think Max is going to be P2 here. But will...
Actually, will Freddie? No, I think it'll be P3, I believe.
And
Max
on the
P2.
final lap here, Dynamic Duo now right up
Is
the
he going to get him on
gearbox
the line?
of Ethan. And this is just going to be for pride because Ethan has 6 seconds of penalties. ERS and DRS engaged. Will Dynamic Duo get him at the line? And it seems he won't, but he wins regardless. Dynamic Duo
Max
wins in
P3.
Qatar. Max
Oh.
gets P3, Dub up to P5. Freddie gets P4. So Ethan did still hold on to P2 there despite his 6 seconds of penalties. But Dynamic Duo now picks up now a 19-point lead in the championship due to GB not being here.
He didn't get a fastest lap. Joshua got fastest lap in the end too. So Joshua with extra 2 points. That's got a yellow. What the hell is that? His addiction.
And SDK Max now gets his first podium as well of the season. So brilliant for SDK Max. What's the oof?
Addiction just slammed the wall at the end. No.
Yeah, he's no front wing, but will cross the line in P13. But a 19-point lead now for Dynamic Duo. And that's a big swing in the championship. And unfortunate for GB, couldn't make it here tonight, is going to have a big ask to try and catch in the championship here. GB was 8 points ahead going into Qatar. But now that GB's in LA, unfortunately has missed out in Qatar, and Dynamic Duo has picked up almost the maximum points. He's picked up 27 points for the pole lap and the win here in Qatar. And Dynamic Duo will be a worthy champion if he does get it. GB will be a worthy champion if he does get it. But we will all have to find out next time out in Vegas. Nudomatic has pinged me saying, please answer you. Thank you for the 94 bits, Nudomatic, in the chat. Thank you for the 101 bits, Zampa, in the chat. Joshy does pick up the fastest lap, as we're going to have to see here the race director, which I'm sure is going to be necessary if any driver wants some warnings removed.
Well, I'm going to quickly
Dynamic Duo.
the loo. Also,
Yeah, I'm going to get Dynamic Duo into the party and Ethan as well if he can. Eh? Alright, welcome in everyone again. For some reason my game crashed. I don't know why. Thank God I have a PC on the way and won't have to put up with this game any longer on old gen. But don't know why that happened. Anyway, all the drivers as you come in, make sure to tick your box before we start interviews. Addiction in the chat says he's not happy. He says he's nothing to say after losing it on the last lap, it seems. And Yeah, we'll start though as the game will hopefully eventually get us to load in. It's just loading forever. All right. Nudomatic in the chat says he's happy to part of this league. It is amazing, and you're right, Nudomatic. I mean, you said it, not me. You know what I mean. I didn't say. But what am I looking for? I'm looking for. Where's just the theater? It's not even what I'm looking for. But anyway, everyone in the party, make sure to tick the box so that the stream can hear you. We're going to start with SDK Max. SDK Max, it's your first podium of the season. How'd that race go for you? Max, you there? No, don't think he is. Well, we'll move on to Ethan. Ethan, you were battling for the win throughout this. But unfortunately, the penalties at the end just cost you.
Yeah,
inevitably.
It did. I first want to say I've done this on like 2 hours sleep, which was I've been the whole day I've been feeling like shit, to be fair. But we'll move on from that. But genuinely, it was a really really nice battle at the front. I knew I wasn't up to pace as Ravish, because obviously he had practice, he did more laps in general. I'm not trying to say, but he was just better at the track. He was better than me, kept it within the limits. He deserved it there. I couldn't keep it on track. Managed to just squeeze P2 there after 6 seconds. But
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Max, now that you're here, how'd that race go for you? It's your first podium of the season.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How'd the race go?
I'm disappointed because I am glad with the podium, but my wheel on carbureted at the very start of the race, so then I went in AI and I lost all the time to the leaders, and I was on the alternate strategy and I was gaining on them before the safety car. So I think if my wheel didn't decalibrate, I could have got more.
Yeah, unfortunate, but there is another race next time out in Vegas where potentially the first win of the season for you could still be on, which I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to be gunning for that win in the finale next time out. But we're going to move on now to the winner in Qatar and now the championship leader by 19 points. Dynamic Duo, how'd that race go for you?
It was a very solid race. Like Ethan was saying, I was just trying to keep it in the limit. Making sure early on I then I started to try and work with Ethan a bit to pull away from the rest of the field. Crypto at the moment, which benefited me and Ethan, so we prioritised ourselves. And then it was a race with us two from them. Then the safety car came out, which screwed me over a bit, but I was on the fresher tyres than Ethan, and I gained more time. But I got the win eventually.
Yeah, and it was a very good win, and it really all came down to keeping it clean was the biggest thing, because drivers getting penalties is really what won you that race, was just keeping it clean while other drivers were making mistakes. Zampa in the chat says fans voted for Dub driver of the day, and he did get P10 to P5, so great race for Dub as well. But an even better race for Dynamic Duo, you'd have to say. Now championship leader by 19 points before we head to the finale next week in Vegas. And the championship will come down to, will it be Dynamic Duo in the AlphaTauri, or will it be GB in the Ferrari? I also have the constructors up here somewhere. I've misplaced the constructors again. Let's see here. Let's see where the constructors battle is. It's also a 19-point lead you have in the constructors as well. Dynamic duo with AlphaTauri over Ferrari. So the constructor battle is going to be one to follow as well next time out. But anyway, that's been it from us here at WHF. Tomorrow we will be joined by Ranga and Ethan for commentary in Texas for the penultimate round of the Tier 1 season, where Cloud could win the championship, 9 points ahead of Cookie at the moment, and Cookie wanting to limit the damage that Cloud can do in Kota. So we're looking forward to that, but until then, we will see you next time. We'll find some to raid on our way out if we can, and let's see who we can raid. Let us raid who's live? Let us raid this random league, CBW F1 League. But if you have enjoyed and you're yet to follow, please do. We're raiding CBW, and make sure to give them a follow on your way out. But thank you all for watching. I've been WHFRO, joined by Ollie, and we will see you next time. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.